Well guys, today I'm doing a little project in my boat where I'm installing a rope. This is 1.25" manila rope, and I'm going to be using it as a rub rail. As you can see that there's already a metal rub rail on my boat, but when I hit pylons and stuff, it takes the paint off. And for anybody out there who's like, well, why'd you paint your rub rail? Well, that's a different video. This, however, should keep light bumps of the pylons off of my painted rub rails. But again, it's mostly aesthetic, which is pretty much what the whole boat is. It's kind of not your normal boat. But I did think that it was pretty neat that you could screw a piece of rope to fiberglass or metal or whatever. And I had to experiment a little bit at first to see if this was going to work. And now that I know that it does, let me show you how I did it. The tools I'm using are a DeWalt drill with a Phillips bit, screwdriver, and some number 8 1.5" stainless steel screws. And the most important part about these screws is not the size per se, but that they are 3/16 stainless steel, so they will survive the harsh environment of salt water. Well, what I'm doing is I'm just putting a screw through one of the strands. This rope is essentially made out of 3 big strands, and if you twist it, it'll open, and you can see the strand that's on the back. And I'm going to put a screw through that strand only. You notice these are truss head screws, so it's got a nice big flat bottom head, and that'll act like as a washer so that the screw doesn't slip through the rope. And what I'm doing is I'm screwing this one, let's say, on the back side, and then on the next section I'll screw this one. I'll show you what I mean. Underneath, I can pull on this and feel which one is actually attached, and then choose the next strand, and then I'll find where it is, and it's on the back side right here. So that's where I'm going to screw. In between here and here, I'll be able to access this strand. So I'll twist it open and put the screw in there. Try to find the center of that big strand on the back, and then screw it through. At some point it starts hitting the fiberglass, and it'll leave a little tiny mark in the paint, and that's how I know where it's got to be, up and down. However, what I'll do next is I'm going to pull on this rope and make it really, really tight and scrape up and down. And you can see the scrape is further this way because you can actually stretch this rope a little bit. I want it nice and tight the whole way. So the next thing to do is to use a drill bit and screw a hole right there as a pilot. And of course I checked before I started drilling holes on the inside. You could see that where these screws are in the rub rail, it's actually 2 pieces of fiberglass coming together, and there's nothing behind it, no electrical or plumbing or anything, which you do have on boats. Any water intrusion through these holes should be minimal. Water gets onto a boat no matter what, so any leakage there isn't really going to cause any damage. These big windows, however, that tend to leak, that's a different story. But anyways, I got the screw is going through that backside rope. You see it poking out? And now I'm going to start it in the hole that I pre-drilled. You see I've only gone through a couple turns, but it's in there tight. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the rope and open these strands to make sure that the screw is behind the front 2 strands. Once I know that's the case, then I'll screw it in a little deeper. Now I'm trying not to go all the way. I'll tighten it down the rest of the way with the screwdriver. This way I know I'm not over tightening, pulling through the back side rope strand, or stripping anything out. So I can feel it torquing down. I could keep going, but I know that's plenty good. It's nice and tight up against that back strand. Now I can twist it closed, and all of a sudden you can't see the screw anymore. It's hidden behind these 2, holding the strand behind it back. And again, if I'm doing this strand, which is this one, on the next screw, I'm going to do the next strand. This way, every strand has a screw every 2 foot or so. And that's going to be right about there. And then I can do it there, and there, and there, and there, all the way around the boat. I'll spare you that part. Hopefully, after I'm done, I can put a little touch-up paint here on these areas where the pylons have done damage, and my paint job will hold up a little nicer. And now maybe you can put some rope on things. You know, it doesn't have to be on a boat, it could be on a wall somewhere, or, you know, if you didn't know that you could screw rope to whatever, now you do. Well, thanks for watching another one of my boat updates. If you're new to this channel, check out my homepage, because I have a whole playlist of these kooky type of things I've done to my houseboat. And you never know, once in a while, I might do some kayak fishing too. Thanks for watching, everybody.